Hello, welcome to my third video, or my third episode of my basic Java tutorial series. And right now we're just going to be covering loops. And it's just like very basic loops. And a loop is exactly what it sounds like. It just loops for X amount of time. So for starters, we're just going to do the for loop and the while loop. So the for loop begins like this, and you essentially have kind of like your starting point right here, and we'll just call it count. And count equals 0 because in programming everything starts with 0. And this is kind of like the next statement would be kind of the conditional. So when count is less than 10. So this would be kind of like our ending point right here. So once it iterates 10 times, it will stop. And this would be kind of how we increment it. So we'll just add 1 for every iteration. So let's begin. So for starters, we'll just put system. We'll just print the console. System dot out. Print ln. And we'll just say loop, and we'll print count. So we'll just do loop, basically a loop number, and we'll just put system dot out dot print hello. So hopefully, well, not hopefully, this should definitely work. It will print loop 1, loop 0, because we started 0, and it'll print hello right after. And it should do that about 10 times, starting with 0 and ending at 9. So let's just run it. Okay, so here we have loop 0, hello, loop 1, hello. So starting at 0, it executes this statement right here, and it prints out the count number right here, because this is within the scope of the loop, int count. And then after it prints this out, this line, it will move on to this line, and then it'll go back and essentially loop back. And every time it loops, it just adds 1 to count. So that's kind of how we get loop 0, loop 1, loop 2, loop 3, loop 4. Okay. And now for the while loop. So the while loop is pretty similar, except this time, unlike a for loop, it's kind of it kind of works like a condition. It just has a single conditional or multiple conditionals. Or if you do it, depending on how you do it, you can kind of make it like a pseudo for loop. But the thing about a while loop is that you can have infinite looping if you're not being careful. And well, you can also do that with a for loop as well, but it's a bit harder to do. Well, not harder to do, but there's kind of like that int count thing. It's a bit safer. So int count, we'll just put int count right over here, and we'll just make it equal to 0, just to demonstrate how you can kind of make it into a for loop. So we'll just put int count, system.out, print line, loop, plus count. Okay, and then system.out, print line. Hello. And then kind of like the for loop, we're just going to increment count, so it can reach up to 10. So it can end, essentially. Okay, so let's get this started. And we should have a very similar result to what we had before. Okay, so like I said, it's very similar to the for loop. So we have int count equals 0, which is similar to what we had in the for loop, how we had kind of int count equals 0 in the for loop as well. And then we have the same conditional here. And then we also have count plus, which just basically increments it by 1. But if we were to set this equal to, let's just say, so while this is greater than -1, we can essentially just infinite loop it. And yeah, so that's kind of how you can kind of make a mistake. Obviously, I'm just doing this intentionally, but things like this happen a lot, actually. Okay. So that's just kind of like the bare basics of what loops are. After this, you can kind of do more complex things. But yeah, thank you for watching the video, and I'll see you guys next time.